A very good evening to everyone who's joining us at Kopi With Vans. That's right. This is your host, Vance, and that's right. Today, if you notice something, it's very different, right? Today, I didn't have my coffee with me, no mug, but instead, some tidbits. That's right. Definitely, it's not going to be a food tasting like what we did in our previous video. But today is all about what you should know about calories, and that's exactly why we have tuned in today. And our for the next couple of series, it's all about nutrition. We're going to talk about on your calories. We're talking about proteins. We're going to talk about a lot of other stuff as well. But as usual, not forgetting the signature, of course, the Kopi With Vans cup and my coffee. All right. So thank you once again for joining us at Kopi Events. And I'm sure for viewers who are out there, if you have been seeing me for the past, say, about 50 over days, or in fact, even 60 over days, about almost 2 months, yeah. I've been doing a lot of review on the Apple Watch 6 series in terms of the 1,000 kilocalories and how it can affect your body in terms of the burning of calories, as well of the kind of food that we eat. I mean, when we talk about weight loss or weight gain, it's not just about aesthetically looking good, right? You want to have the inside and outside to look good, but sometimes we are more concerned and more often into about looking good. You want to have a toned muscles, you want to have less body fat, the body fat percentage, and we work so hard. But sometimes we forget our best friend. You know who's our best friend? It's just your heart. That's right. He's working out 24 hours, 7 days a week without any stoppage. And we must give the credits to him because your cardiovascular is very, very important. Okay, so today we have Ritika, who is a health coach, who will be joining us. And she and I are going to talk a little bit more on the number of calories. We're going to talk a little bit more on a little bit of nutrition. But today, our main topic is all about calories. All right. When it comes to food, again, like I mentioned earlier, every one of us are always afraid of eating because they think that, hey, I will be putting on weight. But it's actually a math. All right. If you know your basic calculations, if you know your basic understanding of basal metabolism rate, okay, the amount of energy you're burning per day, and if you know all these basic maths, I think you can enjoy all the food. And if you have watched me today on my posting, um, that was not very healthy. It's almost about 1,000 over calories I took over for the breakfast, which is the famous Chinese carrot cake. That's right, the black sauce, right? I mean, if you're a typical Singaporean, or even if you're non-Singaporean, you will definitely will love that carrot cake. And on top of that, we also tried the prata, the roti prata, right? The two kosong with the curry on top. So that's additional another about 420 over calories. When we talk about again like calories, it's very important because you can't be eating everything and expecting for a miracle to happen. So it's very, very crucial, like I said earlier, that how you're going to manage it, it also depends. And if you can do a deficit, which means you're taking it out more than what you're putting in, definitely you're losing. So there are basic calculation which we will talk with Ratika a little while, that I'm going to pull her up. But if you do have any questions, please do share this video and also give us a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, you can also give us the comments here, and we'll try to answer that. All right. So without any further ado, I'm going to pull Ritika on top. Hello, Ritika. How are you there?
Hi, Vance. How are you?
I am good. How are you there?
Good. Couldn't be better.
Okay. So before you start on, I'm going to. In fact, the bottle was actually full. I actually finished it.
Well,
Um,
what is that? I can't see what you're eating right now. What is that?
it's it's like a chips with
Oh,
a mixture of a couple of chips, right? It's actually for my
wow.
kids, but most of the time I finish up. So I buy the chocolate, I buy the chips, and most of the time it's inside my tummy as yummy, right?
Not good. Not good.
Okay. So talking about that, Ritika, before we even go and jump in, um, can you do a basic introduction for the viewers? Because our viewers definitely not sure who's Ritika, and they didn't even expected you to come on board. But like I
All right.
said, Kopi With Vans is full of surprises, and yeah, you are here today. So please do your basic introduction.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Hi, so my name is Ritika Shravan. I work here as a nutritionist and a health coach.
Mm.
My own journey brings me here. I used to weigh 111 kgs and today I weigh 56. So I've lost 55 kgs, and so my love for what I do. This is definitely my passion, and therefore I'm here to speak with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know we are connected instantly and in such a fabulous way. We talk as if like we know each other for more than a decade. Thanks to our dear friend who actually link us up. But there's always a cause for it. Always a reason in it because there must be a passion, there must be a synergy, and that is why Ritika, you are here with us at Kopi with Vans. Okay. So I need to give you a clap, right?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Ritika, let's start up with this. Calories. Okay, everybody know what is calories, right? Nobody should not know what is calories. Everybody know it. But when it comes to food, there are some people who are very cautious about it. Some people are not cautious about it. What is your take in calories?
Don't fear them, don't overdo them. That's one thing that everyone needs to keep in mind. Well, there are good calories and there are bad calories. Always get to the better ones and eat mindfully. We don't have to junk all the time. Vance, that's what you were just doing. So you don't have to junk all the time. You can do healthy food there. So you can get like a healthy option of what is there in that jar. So
Hmm.
calories are good. Don't fear them. And calories, of course, your carbohydrate, your protein, your fat is all very important. People these days are fearing carbs for some reason. Carbohydrate seems like a big taboo. No, 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 that's not it. That's really, really required for the real body functioning, and that's glucose that then gives you energy. So all that energy that you have, Vance, which
Yeah.
like that's speaking volumes right now, not from that junk. Stop eating that junk.
Okay, but I got to tell you this, right, Ritika? I mean, when we talk about, I mean, from the fitness industry for the past 21 years,
Hmm.
um those fitness into right, or even people who are not exercising, I mean, whenever they notice they put on weight, oh lord, I put on 6 kgs, and then you see they come up with different kind of weird of diet. I'm going on a milk diet, I'm going to go zero carbo diet, veggie diet, vegan
Yeah.
diet, so many diet. Before I give my take on this, because the way I approach is very holistic, but coming out from the horse's mouth, which is yourself an expert, and as a health coach as well, what is your take?
Fat diets, in my opinion, are good for a short period of time if you want to really try it to achieve a short term goal, but they're not sustainable. Never, in my opinion, should you do anything that you cannot sustain. So, whatever new you want to try, do it only if you can keep to it. If you cannot keep to it, whatever you have lost trying it is going to come back. So,
Okay.
that is my take on it.
Okay. What is a good calorie and a bad calorie?
In terms of the kind of food that you're eating,
Yes. Yeah.
fruits are good calories. Bad calories is the
Okay.
junk that you're holding in your hand right now.
Okay.
So that's the good and bad. So always choose the better. And like carbs, you just spoke about working out and people who go to the gym and stuff. A carbohydrate rich meal pre workout is very important to then be able to work out really well. So carbs there are so important. Why are we having BCAA? Why are we doing all of this? It's because we need the energy. So therefore, carbs are required.
Okay. So we have a couple of viewers commenting right now. One of them already said, I'm a sneak eating my nuts now. So Vijaya, thank you so much. So she's doing some snacking as well.
Nuts are
The, the
good.
reason, the reason, Ritika, that this topic came by, okay,
Mhm.
you see, it's very addictive. Huh? Okay. So, so this topic came by because I, I'm, I'm, I'm I am a true believer that you should be enjoying your food. All right. Unless you've been diagnosed or advised by a nutritionist or endocrinologist or certain experts in the medical field to say that no, you should not be eating this. This is what you should be eating because of health conditions, because of your age, because of your allergies. I think then I'd not say I think I'm sure that the person who are listening to this, I think you need to follow that. You need to follow that. But nowadays there's a lot of experts or enthus, they say, oh no, don't these, I'm doing a banana diet. What you're doing? I'm eating 4 bananas a day and 2 liters of water. So what will happen? I mean, if you avoid carbohydrates, I mean, carbohydrates are very essential for the human body, right? What happens, Ritika?
Well, you start eating into your protein and fat in the body, and then you start using that up for energy. That's what you call the keto diet. That's what happens when you get into ketosis. So, ideally, carbs are very, very important and they should be had. Well, people want to achieve different goals. When you're starting with a weight loss journey, ideally, you will get a diet plan on a calorie deficit. Slowly, as you progress and you've reached your ideal weight, you would want to cut down on carbs. Doesn't mean you omit carbs completely. Just go take it down a little bit, from 50%, maybe bring it down to 45%. So you go low carb on dinner, and therefore you see a difference in yourself, because if you're trying to muscle up, you're trying to build muscle, so then you need more protein. So you go slightly low on carbs. You don't give it up. You shouldn't give it up. And if you do, there are things that go wrong there. You can't concentrate, haziness, brain fog. You go through so much. You don't have any energy. So why would you give it up?
Okay. And like instant or rather high calorie food intake, all right? I mean, we know we're going to go a little bit more and deeper into the BMR, the basal metabolic rate, or even when we talk about the RDI, recommended daily intake.
Mhm.
You want to talk a little bit more on that so that I can conjunct with the topic that we want to talk about today?
Well, that's all dependent on every individual's requirement. Again, yours will be different from mine. So what you require on a daily basis, again, if your goal is weight loss, after that, you will be on a deficit. So supposing, let's take you as an example, Vance. So let's say
Okay.
that if I, hypothetically speaking, if I want to give you a 1,700 calorie diet, just example, okay? On a deficit, I would give you 1,500 because I want to see some change. You are going to still be working out on a daily basis. You're drinking the right amount of water. You are on a deficit diet, and you're working out. You're doing these three things really well: no stress, good sleep, all of that. You will eventually end up losing body fat, and that's how you should lose body fat. That is the right way to go. Because if you don't do it that way, you want a quick fix. It will happen quick by doing those banana diets and all that you just spoke about. It will happen quick, but it'll come back quick too.
Okay, so we have a question time right now. So I think the questions are all popping up right now. So we have Madhu Osman. I have a question: is eating a fruit like mango after dinner good or bad? He's very straight on the point. Good or bad. Right.
Eating fruits between meals is recommended. After foods is definitely not. And as a preferable fruit to have, especially Madhu, if you're on a weight loss journey, avoid bananas, mangoes, and chikus. Avoid that to start with. And if you do it twice a week, but in between your meals.
And definitely snacking is not allowed.
Snacking is allowed, but not that. You can do mixed nuts as your snack. You can do all of that.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question right now, right? So as if
Yeah.
like a person is burning 1,000 over calories a day, is he
Mhm.
allowed to eat high calorie snacks?
If he's burning 1,000 over calories every
Yeah.
day, are you
Every
asking
day.
me this question every day? No,
Yeah.
definitely not, because that's your fat percentage. Will then how will that drop if you're feeding? So somebody asked me this question. I had a client who
Yeah.
told me, Ritika, if you're giving me a 1,500 calorie diet, can I just do two McDonald's burgers with a Coke every day? So that's the answer. What happens when you just junk?
Mhm.
You don't
So
get
how
healthy.
about if you're doing a resistance training and if you're doing some cardiovascular training and you're watching your deficit? I mean, you're not overly going on board, but within the BMR. Okay, let's say your BMR is about 1,800 calories. All right, BMR is 1,008, and then you tend to junk about say about 1,000, 1,005. All right, maybe
Mhm.
whatever high content food we are talking about. But then in the other part, you are also keeping with BMR or lesser than that maybe, and then you are also burning. You see,
Mhm.
so what I'm trying to link up here is when you train hard, you should be eating your food hard. I mean, of course, when we say hard, you don't go into all the fried stuff, and eventually it will lead to
Yeah.
another issue. But the balance that I'm talking about. So your expertise, Ritika.
Balance is always good. You can't just junk. So, again, to answer your question, just junking is not okay. Even if you're playing hard, burning hard, you can't be eating just junk. Have a well balanced, nutritious diet where you can eat a little bit more. Once in a while, getting your cheat meals in is perfectly fine, but not on a daily basis.
Okay, so again, another question time. Radhika Sihal has asked, what one as a substitute if I crave something sweet, which is low calorie?
Dates. Dates, get to raisins, if you'd like. A lot of people crave sweet after their meal. That's one very common thing that a lot of people go through. It's just out of habit. They want to put something sweet into their mouth. Protein
Mhm.
rich. A lot of Indians per se, and even local Singaporeans have this habit of eating a little bowl of yogurt after their meal, or with their meal. Keep it for 10 minutes later when you crave, put some raisins in it and have it. That will take care of this.
Okay, and I know that Radhika, you're I'm sorry, Radhika. Is it very important when we say when you look at the kind of water intake that you need to take, and before at certain hours before you sleep, you shouldn't be eating it because of your digestion, your intestines, to have a little break rather than making them work even when you sleep. So
Yeah.
how will we put on that aspect?
So again, for people who actually don't drink much water, my advice for them would be just drink the right amount of water. Of course, there's a particular time in the day you shouldn't be having it 2, 3 hours before you go to sleep, because then you're going to use the restroom the whole night and you're going to get disturbed. So therefore, don't do it then. But if you're supposed to drink 3 liters of water a day and you tell me I don't drink more than one and a half, I don't care when you drink it as long as you drink three. You should be drinking three, because that's important for your metabolism also. So when you don't see weight loss, you don't see fat loss eventually, this would be one of the questions I would ask you. Did you do your water today? Did you drink right? Are you drinking enough water? So again, to answer your question, there's nothing right or wrong here. It's personal opinion. It's based on the client and how you want to then, get to this journey.
Okay, and also when you mentioned, I think it's very important. A lot of us they don't really have that habit of drinking water because they want to have something like sugary, even for coffee intakes, right? For those who are a little addict on the coffee, some we know that they go for about 6 to even some 7 or 8 cups. Which I spoke that to them before, but probably it's not even the caffeine they are addicted for. Probably it's even the sugar. So they say they're going for a coffee, but it's sugar. So what will be that take, Radhika? What do you think in terms of that, either the sugar or the caffeine? What was more in terms of the lifting up, the higher or the lower in terms of sugar and caffeine?
Sugar. If you can do coffee without sugar, great. If you can just do a plain black coffee, nothing like
Mhm.
it, or just get to a green tea, minus, of course, the sugar. So don't do the sugar at all, in my opinion, especially if you're having more than two coffees, and it's become a habit again. So don't do more than two.
Okay, so you are saying that not more than two, yeah, and
Yeah.
average per person, right, on a daily basis, how many liters of water? Because I know we are supposed to talk about calories, but the viewers are all asking questions, so that's why we are going into the fact. How many liters one should have, Radhika?
Well, again, here, Vance, if your let's say your body weight is at let's hypothetically 60 kgs, okay, I would multiply that into 30 or 35, and then I would answer that question. So that is
Okay,
your that's how much water you should be having.
okay. So there's no one size fits all, right? You can say, oh,
No,
drink 6 glasses of water, no.
no,
All right.
no.
I think Radhika has made it a very great point, because even if you're exercising, even in the gym or the outdoor, the atmosphere pressure and the thermogenic pressure is totally different. And like what you said, it also depends on the perspiration ratio and the amount of calories you burn. So there's not never a number, like what, as she said, she's a nutritionist and a health coach, with the amount of precise weight and height, which exactly, and depends on your activity level also, right? You can't just literally say, I'm drinking 6 glass of water for the day, and then probably
No.
you even need more than that, right? I mean,
Yeah.
of course. Okay, so we have another one more on the liquid form. Is almond milk better to have instead of a regular milk from a calorie perspective?
If you're lactose intolerant, great. Go ahead and have that almond milk. If your taste buds agree to it and you want to have it, go ahead with it. It's good protein and it's lesser fat.
Okay, thank you, Ritika. Today's topic, I mean, I got to tell that the viewers are very, very into, because it's all about calorie. But I promised to Ritika say that we will keep it basically on calorie, because we want to have this review for this Apple Watch that I'm doing over the past 45 days at Kopi Advance, and to come up with the ways of weight loss versus the number of calories burned. But the messages are keep on coming in, so probably we will take it on that later on. So let's dive into the calorie, Ritika. I mean, we talked about calorie, and when it comes to calorie, people are very, very sensitive, especially the first thing that they come to the mind is, okay, I need to cut off my diet. I need to go on a diet. But I somehow rather believe the word diet makes a very, very impactful in your mind, because your mind knows that if I'm going on a diet, oh, I need to do this. I need to be disciplined. Yes, if someone is doing a particular sport, and if you need to go on that particular diet, then no choice, because it's because of your profession or because of your athlete perspective. But for general public, when someone say no, you should go on a diet, well, without how can I say, without experiences, or maybe based on their experience, they might say, oh, this is good because I love almonds, you should take almonds. I love apple, you should. What will be the thing in the industry, or what we should do when someone says you should go a diet? What is the first thing that come to your mind?
The first thing I tell everyone when they say you should go on a diet is it's not a diet, it's a food plan with a lifestyle change. That
There
is
you
what
go.
it is. Unless you have a medical condition which you're trying to sort out, then yes, you need to be on a diet per se because it's very restricted to certain things that you must eat, which you haven't. So, ideally, diet is a bad word, in my opinion. There's no
Yeah,
such thing as diet. It's a food
yeah.
plan, it's a well thought of food plan. That's all it is.
And again, once more, you said it right on the spot and the dot as well, because um, when we use the word diet, somehow or other, it's a kind of stressful word, right?
Yeah.
Everybody love food. There should not be anyone that say, oh, I don't love food. But of course, when you take something that is too much, it's going to be very harmful for the body, especially in terms of sugary stuff. People love to go for dessert and chocolates and sweets and kind of stuff, because that you are leading even into a deeper issues as well along the way. But in terms of general, when we talk about calorie, you need to really watch out what you take. Every food that we take, there is calories. Ritika, what happens, very interesting question that probably pop up, I'm taking this on my own first. If someone eats lesser than what they should have, so let's say Josine have to suppose to take about 1,700 calories, but she's on a diet. She's only taking 500 calories. What will happen, Ritika?
She will gain weight because her metabolism will slow down completely. And when that happens, the body will feel that, oh my God, she's only feeding me 500 calories. Let me just store this as fat. So, how much ever she burns, she's not going to get to losing any weight. I know so many people who do this, Vance. I give them 1,300 calorie diet and they call me up and they say, Ritika, I'm eating only 1,000. Why am I not losing weight? I'm like, because you're eating only 1,000. Can you please eat 1,300? You're supposed to. Your body requires the nutrients. Your cells will say thank you to you if you give them that.
So energy burns energy. Am I right to say that? You, when you
Yeah,
eat something, you actually burn, your thermogenic increases. So the word
absolutely.
diet definitely have to be changed, especially in the area of whether is it general population, or even if someone. I do get this very often. The time, coach, I put on 2 kg. I'm going to go on a diet. I say no. You should never ever go on a diet. It's like, what you're talking about? I'm trying to do very different. Yeah, like I said, it's very in line in like what you mentioned. But over the past 50 over days, I'm doing a lot of experiments in myself. But one of the experiments, Ritika, I'm going to I mean, even to share with you and also to the viewers, right? This happened about 2 3 years back, all right? And I decided, okay, let's do a sugar crush diet, all right? Which means I'm going to go no sugar for the next whatever days, all right? No targets. On the 14th day without the sugar, I was driving and automatically my hands, my steering wheel turned left into the petrol station for no reason. There was no
Okay.
indication that I need to I mean, pump petrol for my car, right? The petrol was sufficient. But I don't know why I went in. I parked the car, I went inside the supermart. I mean, every station they have it. I went to the freezer section, the refrigerator. I took out a very, very tasty, the highest sugar. I'm not going to mention names because to protect and also to protect everyone. And we're not going to say that. I took out this highest contain sugary drink, all right, which everybody loves, all right. I took it, and there was two aspects of it. One was a plastic bottle, and one was a can. And I didn't went for the plastic bottle. I went for the can. I took it. I bring it back to my car. I open it up. I drink it till that moment, that turning in and buying and paying and kind of stuff, right? I wasn't in control at all. So the question is, who was in control, and why did I not go for the plastic bottle instead of the metal? Because I want to have the sensation. I want to see the condensation happening in the can. I wanted to feel the gassy. I want to feel that thirst quenching, drink ever before. So now the question, as health coach and a nutritionist, I lose control on the 15th day of no sugar. What is your advice, Ritika? What exactly has happened?
So first and foremost, when you said no sugar, you mean no refined sugar, but you were still doing fruits, or you just gave
No,
that up
nothing.
too?
No sugar at all.
Okay. Yeah. So your subconscious mind just drove you into that petrol station, and then you went in there and got yourself that amount of sugar from that can. So you know you should not be giving up anything. Don't give up anything ever, because this is what is going to happen. You are going to crave. You're going to binge. You're going to eventually bulk up. Don't give it up.
Ritika, like I said, I don't want to sound like a recorded version, but yes, that 2 to 3 minutes of the time, the mind has given away. The mind has made a lot of imaginary processes of future, and it knows that if I turn left, I can get it because I've seen before. So it's all imaginary, or rather, memories that has created in the past. So something to think about, like what Ritika has said. If you go on a diet, you're putting the body under enormous pressure, especially whether it's it for 1 month or 2 months. Then eventually what happens, you just go blow it out. And if you, let's say example, you have lost 5 kg, and eventually you put on 15 kg because it just springs back. Am I right to say that, Radhika?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So we again, we would love to go into another aspect of the calories, in terms of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ritika, I know it's one size doesn't fit, but if you can briefly say how much of carbs is very important, especially in the breakfast, because for the past 9 hours, your body is going under no food processes, right? I mean, you're sleeping, nothing is happening, and then
Yeah.
suddenly when you wake up in the morning, and then you said you want to do these, you don't want to do that, and some takes high, some take low, some don't even take breakfast. So maybe if you can briefly tell our viewers, because I know a lot of questions are coming up as well also.
Well, for this question, I'll answer by just saying that your metabolism is at its peak in the morning. So your breakfast should be eaten like a king, your lunch like a queen, and your dinner like a pauper. Considering and going by our current lifestyles, we are all doing the opposite. We all bulk up for dinner because we are so stressed out with our workload through the day. Minds are occupied. We don't even find time to eat. This is what most people struggle with. And comes post 6 p.m., everyone just suddenly starts thinking about food and what they want to eat. The first thing you'll get to is a snack. And then that will be some junk that's lying next to you, like it's lying next to you right now. And then you will eat that. And then you will just do a really heavy dinner and bulk up. So, how would
Well
you break?
done, well done, Radhika, well done. It's a fantastic, look at it. What is that? You put it on the spot. Ooh, ooh. I
So
mean,
yeah, so
I agree. I totally agree. It's because of stress eating as well. Do
yeah,
you think
if
so?
you eat, a lot of people eat their emotions, a lot of people eat their stress, and they don't even realize it. So it's good not to bulk up over any meal. You need to do your 3 meals, and calorie wise, you go easy. You go good on the first, go slightly lower on the second, and go lowest on the third. That's ideally the way you should be doing it, with mid meals in between also. Like do like a fruit in between, or get some snack in between, and then that's how you even out all your calories. That's the best way to go. Best way.
And Ritika, I mean, honestly speaking, it wasn't a setup, but looks like all the questions are coming in today is what we have planned for the next couple of weeks of series. That people are just
Okay.
asking a lot of questions. So I think it's deemed right that we should answer also. So we have Ashwin. Hi, Ashwin, buddy. Thank you for joining us at Kopi Events. You're gonna get a copy soon, buddy. Okay. Ashwin is one of a very avid follower at Kopi Events, a great supporter who joins in all the Kopi sessions. Thank you, Ashwin. Thank you so much. So Ashwin has asked, I believe the question is what are nutrient rich calories, bro? And how we maximize it. Do you want to talk about it, Ritika, a little?
No, which question was that?
No, he
What
said that
was?
I just flashed it over here. He said, I believe the question is about what nutrient rich calories and how we maximize it.
I think this was asked when you were talking about the petrol
Yeah.
station, the
Yeah.
the can.
Okay. Okay. So let me answer that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ashwin, it's again very very subjective, but it's not really a nutrient, not nutrient rich, but it's high in sugary. But of course, if you, I don't even want to use the word diet. I don't want to use the word treat because you need to have that, right? Like what Ritika said, you cannot be going off completely. But of course, you need to know how many grams of sugar you need to take per day, and even if you take, what kind of exercises you should be doing, whether that kind of calories or that kind of sugary or grams of sugar you need it for the day, or for, if you, let's say if you tend to take it for lunch, then you got to be very very careful and thoughtful, and it's very crucial that you need to make sure that you maintain it and not go beyond that for the rest of the day. Because if you allow every single thing to come in, then it's going to accumulate and then it's going to give a lot of problem. Then of course it's not very good, because if you know that the stats in Singapore shows that higher contents, I mean, not say higher content, higher number of people are getting diabetes because of the food lifestyle stress. And stress eating, I think, is one of the biggest. So we got to be very careful about what we choose. And like I said, as a coach, I always put myself into testings to find out how it works time to time, and so that it can actually works very well for those who are associating with. So I hope that actually answer that for you, Ashwin. So we have um, RT Verma. So okay. Another thank you, RT. We appreciate all the questions. Yeah. Does intermittent fasting help in reducing weight? So a lot of people are asking about weight related issues, which is of course calorie. It can be also be sugar, and also contains all the unnecessary calories. So this one I will leave it to you, Ritika.
Yes, intermittent fasting does help in reducing weight as long as you don't do it intermittently. A lot of people do it 5 days of the week, and there comes Saturday, Sunday, and they're partying again, and they cannot compromise with their social life. So if you do intermittent fasting, you do it right. You can go 18 is to 6, 18 hours eating window, 16 hours fasting window. You can do it differently, but yes, it does help.
Okay, you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so people, you can understand, if you're doing the intermittent fasting, it's not a bad thing to hear that. But okay, so you need to do it gradually. Can I say that? I mean, don't, if you're not just going to start on a Monday, but it's in a period of maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, right?
You people who do intermittent fasting, they should do it continuously for a good amount of time, like a 1 month window or a 2 month. But then you cannot keep breaking it. You can't break the eating and fasting window, which is what happens normally because of social, you know, your social being and your lifestyle. So
So
yes,
it's
it
like,
does help with reducing weight and inches, in fact.
so they're going for a party and said, you know what, never mind, I will continue tomorrow. Today I shall do the diet again.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Okay, so thank you. Again, Ritika, I know we are coming almost to the last segment already, because we are supposed to keep it for the last 15 minutes. But I think a lot of people are just, I think, related to a lot of questions on weight gain and intermittent fasting and almond milk. So many things are coming up. So probably we will jump into that. So we do understand that, of course, if you eat less, you put on weight. Somebody will be asking, hey, I'm not eating, what, how come I should be putting on weight? But your mind or your body, your neurons are very smart. They think that you're on a survival mode. All right. So they tend to keep everything, all right, and not burning. And probably, yes. And even if you lose, you probably lose muscle mass. And that's going to create another issue, because your metabolism rate is dependent on your amount of muscle mass. So the higher muscle mass you have, the higher your metabolic rate. And if you tend to lose muscle mass, your metabolic rate will go down. So you think that you're losing weight, but you're losing muscle. Possibility, all right? Because the body tend to keep all the fats as a crucial thing for necessary for emergency. So coming back to the questions again, Ritika, I mean, as how many years have you been practicing in the nutritionist as a professional?
Just about 2 years now.
Okay. And do you see a lot of people that's coming to you for weight gain or weight loss?
Weight loss, weight gain, just a handful. More
Okay.
weight loss.
Okay. So it could be a lot of stress eating. Do you think it's a lot of stress eating, or is it because of things like just the rich foods are in, compared to, a decade back or even 3 decades back? Is it because of a lifestyle of change?
I'll tell you out of my own experience. The
Okay.
weight is all only on the outside. The issue is always something else. If you
Hmm.
just dig deeper down, go deeper and deeper, you will get to exactly what it is. It's never just you eating. There is always a reason behind that. And that, when you dig deep down, and if you can get the answers, you will sort the issue out completely. All those all those stories, those really nice stories you hear about people losing 20, 30, 40, 50 kgs, is
Hmm.
all not just because they like to eat. Obviously there is some reason behind them eating like that. It is stress, it is their emotions, it's something that they're going through, body shaming. There's so much that goes into it. So yes, it is a lot of stress eating.
Okay, so we did learn a couple of things today, and also to be following up. So, Ritika, I do hope you also follow me on my Facebook as well, because there's
Of
been
course.
an experiment going on 1,000 calorie burn almost every other day, and to actually to see where this motivator as a apparently we are doing the review on the Apple Watch. So in terms of great motivator, in terms of keeping the calories at the maximum and watching the diet. So it's been a very challenging, rather very exhausting as well, because you need to keep your heart rate high up to burn, and at the same time to keep the adjustments going on. And I think it's a lot of mental resilience as well. And Ritika has also said that if you tend to eat lesser, eventually you're also inviting other problems as well. Probably you'll even go binge eating, or even stress eating, or even depressed eating. It has so many varieties of that. And also, not talking about calories, also can be in terms of alcohol, in terms of fruit, or we talk about sucrose and fructose. So these are the things that we are not going to go in today, but purely into calories intake as well. So if you do have any questions, so please, we have the last 5 minutes here, because I and Ritika are going to chat up. So if you do have a question related to calorie, so please do ask us. We try our very best to answer that. Okay, so Radhika, so what is your favorite high calorie food intake? Huh?
Mine, well,
Yeah.
I do enjoy my ice cream once in a while.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Popping up. All
I'm
right.
not really a sweet tooth, but I do tend to want some of it once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and any other things like in
Like
terms
like
of
in
carb?
terms of carb. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm originally Indian. We're very high on carbs.
Okay.
we
Okay.
are we eat carbs for breakfast, carbs for lunch, and carbs for dinner. So we're very very high on carbs. We're very low on protein unless we are non-vegetarian. But then carbs is a must do for us. We will not eat any meal without our rice and chapati and all of that. So
Mm.
yeah, carb intake is always there and very important. And I'm very happy to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
So you know
So
your
you know
balance,
your
right?
balance. Yeah, totally.
Okay, Ritika, any final advices or talks for our viewers?
Well, the only advice that I would have for everybody is eat mindfully, and whatever you decide that you want to do, just stay consistent, stay extremely disciplined, because it's like a formula. 2 plus 2 is 4. You eat right, you work out, A lot of people come and tell me, I don't have time to work out. Why? Do you forget to brush your teeth before you leave the house? Your workout should be like that. So eat right, work out, and drink the right amount of water. And there's no looking back after that.
Thank you so much, Ritika. And
Welcome.
of course, like I said, it's going to be another series coming up. But thank you for the accept on the Kopi events and spending almost 40 minutes with us.
Thank you for having me here. Entirely my pleasure.
Thank you, Ritika. Thank you so much. Stay connected.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we have come to the last segment of Kopi Events. So thank you to Ritika, who spent almost about 40 minutes with us at Kopi Events talking about nutrition. I mean, like, to be very honest, nutrition is such a big field. I think probably even a course we can conduct on that, just basically not 40 minutes will never be enough. So that's why we try to keep it everything in the calorie. But like I said, even the calorie also, it went into a lot of other questions as well, like Ritika did a very well level best to actually to answer us. But beside this, if you have really have watched what exactly has happened in the past 45 days, that I did a lot of experiments and on myself in terms of calories, because the moment when we hear calorie, some people just eat without any care. I don't bother, just eat. I enjoy food, right? We eat to live. Some who live to eat. So, like I said, there's never a solution for everybody's issue, but it's individual. But I went into these 1,000 calories burning of workout sessions, and there was a tremendous, huge improvement. Of course, there are certain days where I really watch the amount of calories that I take. If you watch my Insta and my Facebook as well, so there's a huge improvement. Total about 8.5 kg. It's almost touching 9 kgs. But a lot of stair climbings, a lot of runs, a lot of resistance training, body weight training, in the outdoor as well. Probably it's time to go into the gym and get things what needed to be done as well for a certain factor. But in terms of cardiovascular exercises, I probably will choose outdoor because of thermogenic and atmosphere pressure. But that is based on my perception, based on the testing that I did, which I think is very, very effective because you tend to perspire more. Comparison to an environment that's especially when you're working out in a gym, there's ventilation there. There's supposed to be need to be ventilation, right? And it cools you down. And I did a workout session in the gym as well. Couldn't even go more than 1,000 calories at 2 hours. So probably it took me additional 1 hour and to do it. And also in terms of motivation, I wasn't very that motivated in the gym for doing cardio because I pretty much enjoyed the concept of doing workout sessions in the outdoor. Spending a huge amount of years of experiences in the gym, for the past 5 6 years, I have actually moved out of the gym and doing every kind of exercises and trainings as a coach, all in the outdoor. So what I've seen, or what I've observed in terms of results is you have a very different settings. But of course, you need to do certain resistance exercises in the gym for sure. That's definitely needed. And even for myself, I'm still a gym a member of a particular brand in Singapore. So it's very important. But what is interesting is that you need to set up, you need to have that habit, you need to also have the consistency, because without consistency, I think you will not be able to get things rolling. It's not something like you start, because we do see a lot of people starting up fitness and health programs in the beginning of the year. They call it the new year resolution, and as months goes by, the motivation level and the steam just takes a huge plunge down, and that's basically because there isn't any kind of motivator. And we have a lot of gadgets, especially many particular brands that I have done before. And one of the brand that I actually favors, and I think most of you all will favor is the Apple, because Apple products we don't even need to talk about. And I noticed that I don't want to wear any other watches, right, for the past 45 days, and I still have another 25 more days. So it's actually a total of 60 days of review testing that's going on. I'm not going to talk about a lot of the features, right? The features in the Apple Watch is amazing. It's an ecosystem. It get connected to your computer. It connects to your AirPods. It's connected to your laptop. Everything. We don't want to talk about that. Everybody should know that. But in terms of the exercise segment, it keeps you in control, which means every time when you do an intense workout, all right, say let's say you're running or jumping or star jump, to increase up the heart rate, The worst to worst I've seen is about 5 seconds or maybe even 3 seconds delay, lagging. But other than that, I think it's necessary because when the heart pumps, you need the number of required beats to travel, right, to your certain points where you can actually read the beats. But somehow or other, I got to say that it is 95%, right, accuracy, and keeps you enrolled because then you know where exactly you are, especially when it comes to training, to maintain a certain heart rate. We use a formula called the maximum heart rate. It's covenant formula, which spoke about it many times in Kopi Advance, even my sessions as well. It's about 220 minus your age. So example, if I'm 20 years old, obviously I'm not. I wish we all could be, right? So you'll be 200. So 200 is your maximum heart rate. At any point of time, you should not be going more than 200 beats because that's what is recorded as 220 as a fetus heart rate ever before. So as we age, your maximum heart rate starts to plunge down. And it's a safe zone. So you don't want to train at 100%. It's never been good unless if you're an athlete. I mean, certain guidelines where you don't want, even want to go there, right? So with that, you times it by 60%, 70%, 80%, and 90%. So it's always safe. So when you're doing an exercise program, and make sure that you want to keep at the heart rate zone in order to burn calories and also to train your myocardium, which is heart. It's very important. Again, I've said this many times before, in studying an exercise program, it's very important. It's very crucial, not just jumping into a session and doing a session blindly or even without any aim, because that actually can cause you a lot of danger. If your posture is not right, you can get an ACL, anterior cruciate ligament tear. If you're not stabilized, you probably get a ankle or even a sprain or even a dislocation. So it's very important when it comes to humans or even to us as exercising. So we monitor that, and I noticed that in the first segment of this review is that it keeps you very motivated, right? Even if you're not moving, it gives you reminders. You're not moving, go. And if your heart rate rises up for certain reason, probably you're walking too fast, or even if you're sitting at home, if you notice that you're not moving and your heart rate has been stabilized, it will give you reminders, right? Probably your stress, right? You can't be sitting in and then you're thinking of something, work or whatever. So your artificially your heart rate goes up. So these are few futures that I can talk about. There are so many other futures that probably a session will never be enough. I still will be doing another 25 days of review on this Apple Watch before we will do a great conclusion on that. But as of now, I think the one of the best of fitness heart rate monitors. I'll call it heart rate monitor because it's amazing, intelligent in terms of not only the heart rate, but it gives you so much tons of other messages, keep you in your calendar, so many things to talk about, and it keeps you in like a trainer, right? It keeps you, reminds you, it keeps you updated and keep you moving. So I think I'm really enjoying the review with Apple Watch at the 6 series, especially. So thanks to Apple Singapore for coming up with such a great device, not only in Singapore, the whole INC as well. So I think that's about it for today's session. And thank you so much for all the lovely messages that's coming in today. I'm sure Ritika will be love to give a lot more other topics, upcoming sessions with Kopi events, because this segment for the next 1 month, it's all about nutrition. We're going to bring in other speakers as well, nutritionists on board to identify a little bit more deeper into proteins, minerals, magnesium, vitamins, and a lot of other stuff as well to understand the nutrition. But I think nutrition is very important, not only to lose weight, but to stay healthy, to stay fit. So I think I've said enough. Thank you so much. Oh, there's one more brother coming in, Javed. Thank you, Mr. Javed, brother. Thank you so much for all the messages that's coming in today. And I think to say goodbye right now, and probably we will catch up. No, it's not probably. We are sure to catch up next Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. So for now, this is Kopi with Vans. Somehow or other, you know what? I'm still going to binge, with all the goodies around. And luckily, Ritika is not here, because if not, she'll say, Vance, put that plastic container down. Of course, she have to say that, right? But, she's not seeing, but probably she's watching it. But it's okay. Oh, okay. Okay, guys and girls, I will see you all on your next session, not on our next session at Kopi with Vans. So for now, sayonara.